Hey guys, looks like we are live again. We're going to be doing 10 days now. This is the 10th day of live shaves with the Lather games. I've really enjoyed interacting with the regulars that have been able to come, and the folks who just come in and leave, and that's fine too. It's really cool to talk to you guys. So today's the 10th day, and the theme of today is you need to use a cream. I don't have a lot of creams. I've got some Taylor of Bond Street that I never use. I kept of the German Street because that scent is just amazing. But I just never use it. I've just got so many better soaps that perform so much better. But that scent, I keep it around because that's just an amazing scent. I think I kept the Mr. Taylor's as well. I like that scent too. I have some Perazzo cream that I haven't used in years, but just it's cheap. So test purposes kind of thing. I have some Palmolive cream that I have used on this channel, and really nice cream there. I've got Haven cream from Fit Jar Islands. I was sent that as a wonderful sample from a viewer, and it was really nice. Hey, Mike, welcome. And that one was nice, but I ended up ordering, of course, the hard soap instead of the cream. And so I could use that today. Sometimes I have done that. Now, I've always loved that sandalwood scent of that Perazzo red cream. And even though, the cream does an okay job with the performance, it'll get you a nice, slick shave. So, why not? Especially if you can get it for those European prices of just a few euros. I've always said that Perazzo may be a little bit it's overpriced for America. But when you can get it for just a couple of euros in Europe, it's worth that for sure. And man, Perazzo has its fans, and if you dare say that it's not amazing, then they will jump on you. That's just the way some people really are. One guy said it was the best cream he'd ever experienced, and that's hard to understand unless, I guess, he just hasn't tried very many creams and soaps. Anyway, what I do have for us is a good cream for today. 322 from Catie's Bubbles, and it is in their luxury cream base. It's very soft, and it is mainly a vetiver note to my nose, so very vetiver. Yeah, Mike, a lot of people, the Perazzo Red is the first one. The soap is the first one they buy. I'm included in that. I saw it on Amazon. It got a lot of reviews. I don't think as many people jump into those Amazon reviews and tell kind of the truth about it in respect to comparing it with other soaps. And that's really where it fails, is in comparison with some of the other soaps that are out there. By itself, it's a nice soap. So this is the luxury cream base, and I always scoop this because that way I don't have to worry about how much I load if I were to put a brush down in there, So very much vetiver. Now, the 322, of course, we've got some dark, mysterious numbers, right? Well, I finally got around to looking up 322 to find out what it meant. And it's talking about secret societies. And 322 is associated with Yale University and the secret society known, I believe it's the Skull and Bones. Yeah, that's there among the upperclassmen. And it has primarily that vetiver note. It's also got a little patchouli, black currant, and oak moss. And we'll see. Now that I know what to look for other than the patchouli, I'll see if I can parse that out while my fingers are dry. Oh, you know what? Let me put the blade in the razor first. Oh, let me tell you the other stuff. We're going with a black theme because we're going to try to match everything with the soap. Roger that, Mike. See you soon. We have a black handled. The Skull and Bone Society is an old one. It actually had a Wikipedia page. And so we have an old razor and a long black handle. This is the Gillette Vintage, and it's the super adjustable. It's a Gillette super adjustable. I believe the number of it is 109. The adjustables all have numbers. Affectionately called the Black Beauty, and this is the long-handled version. Shaves very well. Let's pick which setting I might want to do today. Let's try 3. It's an old blade, and so often I do more aggressive settings. However, for the last dozen shaves or so, I have switched to doing an against the grain pass here. And so let's keep it mild and see what happens. And here is the Nasset that we are using. You can see the N reflection right up on the top there, and then the 1, that's my little signature. Used to be I had 3 black dots right there. You can see the remnants of those. And those, that side points toward the handle. If you didn't know, if you have a vintage Gillette razor with little notches on the center bar on both ends, that is a little gimmick they came out with long ago. They had these blade dispensers, and the idea was you wouldn't have to touch the blade. You would take that little notch, it would be grabby, and you would push, maybe you'd hold the blade dispenser on top of the razor. That probably makes more sense. And you would use that notch to grab the inside of a blade, and it would slide out. And now you have a blade in, you crank it down, close the barn doors, you didn't have to touch any blades. And so that was a little gimmick that Gillette came out with. And I don't think it lasted too long, but now we still have the notches on many of these razors. I mean, why remove them if you don't need to? All right, that's loaded up, and this is going to be use number 387. It looks like 387. Now that the blade is in the, now I've got a heaping 1/4 teaspoon right here. And it is soft like a cream should be. And so I don't need to work too hard at pressing it down into the bowl. I just need to just casually put it in there. With the harder soaps, you need to press down, because if they come loose, the chunks can float around in the lather bowl and never really become part of the lather. But if it's soft like this, all that vetiver is jumping up at me. If they're soft, then it easily mixes, even if a piece comes loose. I found that out by having some loose chunks. I finished my shave, and there were still these firm chunks, laying around in the bowl. All right. Got our 40 milliliters of water ready and on hand. This may end up still giving me quite a bit of lather, but it's been so long, I actually didn't even find a record of me using the 322. I tried Dirty Pros. I guess I should have looked at the usage on that one to see maybe how much it would give me a good lather, but I didn't. Keeping with the black theme, we have a mysterious black-handled Thader brush. It's a 2-band, and it's the number 3 size, which is kind of small in terms of the handle. It is sturdy and stout. It's thick, but it's kind of short. That's my only gripe with these brushes. I think the handles are beautiful. They offer reasonable hold and ergonomics. I'm happy with that. It's got an octagonal handle here, 8 faces. I just wish it were a little bit longer. And I have had it soaking for a while, just to get these 2-band tips to soften up a little bit more. So I'm going to put him back in the water, get my face wet. All right, so yesterday was meme day. If you want to go back and check my YouTube live video from yesterday, if you look in the description, there will be a link to the 8 or so memes that I created. And if you're a shaving fan, then you'll understand them. And if you're not, if you haven't been around quite as long, then you may understand just a few of them, and that's just fine. So let's keep on going. And I did happen to receive the splash from Catie's Bubbles for this 322. Now, a lot of people will send splashes with this Teflon tape, or any kind of liquids that they send. They'll use this Teflon tape, and I kind of think it's too thin to really help. Um, I think it may lull people into a false sense of security. Someone, very reputable sent me some cologne samples, and he fastened each one of them with this Teflon tape, and every one of them had about half of the product leak out. Because see, I think this tape was meant for plumbing fixtures that have very tight tolerances in the threading. The waterproofness in these bottles here is not in the threading. The threading is actually very wide. Where the waterproofness is the contact of this top of this surface up here, the top, not the sides where the threading is, the top. And so that top, the threading presses the top up against the floor of the cap, and that's where the waterproofness comes from. And so I think that's what needs to kind of be focused on. I usually just tighten mine nicely and put some black electrical tape around it just to make sure that the lid doesn't unscrew itself. Man, this is kind of there we go. We're free. So if you don't like vetiver, do not get this product. It is mostly vetiver. I'm going to see if I pick up any of the patchouli, blackcurrant, or oak moss. I'm not that great at how oak moss smells. I don't identify it really well. I have had several soaps that have blackcurrant that I really like. And so that could be a note that I do like that would match well with the vetiver. All right, so let's mix up that soap. Shake a lot of the water out. And that's what it looks like pressed in. Probably half a teaspoon of lather here, but creams in many cases are going to require less water than the same amount of soap, harder soap, or a croap, and they often require more product. It just depends on the cream. Now, the daily challenge today is a little bit more easy to accomplish than making memes or stacking things. There was an online person, a YouTuber, or maybe Instagram, who was really critical and just saying some really nasty things about, Ben at Mammoth. And I've voiced it on my channel here before. And Ben is just such a stand-up guy. He was great during the whole thing. And as a response, he ended up choosing some soaps to sell for charity and taking all the proceeds to that and sending it to a benefit, a charity. But it's just unreasonable what this guy was saying and all this stuff. And so that's they created a challenge out of that is, the guy we'll call him the evil guy. He was, saying that Ben creates this demand for his soap and doesn't put out too many quantities of it, to then keep the demand high and stuff, Anyway, the challenge of today, in honor of that, is to just talk about a drop you tried to get in on. When a shaving vendor says, hey, what I mean by drop is when the shaving vendor says, I'm going to release a product at this time on this such a day. Then people kind of get in line. Some people have, internet bots and stuff that watch for sites. They watch the site to see when a certain piece of text changes from sold out to in stock or something like that. You've got to be really fast And so I want to tell my stories about that. I don't have too many since I mostly buy used gear. Hey, Ben, welcome. You know what? There is a lot of really cool stuff in the shaving community, respect and loyalty and that sort of thing. But yeah, in certain areas, there is definitely some pettiness out there with certain folks. That's for sure. This lather's already looking pretty good. That's one of the benefits of a cream is since it's already got some moisture in there, many times it's a little quicker to mix up than a harder soap. Let's just use this, and I think we'll be good. Get my face wet again. A little bit less than a day's shave, a day's growth, because I shaved so late. I got in just under the wire last night, writing my thing up in about less than half an hour. It was tough. Okay, so I joined up with the premium shave gear at the end of the life of the Fletcher soap from Bufflehead. It's one of the last Bufflehead drops I remember hearing of, because I think he also got fed up with people making such claims about him trying to just drum up business and demand. I mean, these smaller companies, what do people think? They don't have big warehouses to keep extra stock. They don't have the financial ability to, make 1,000 tubs of a soap. They may only be able to make 100 or 200. And so if it happens to be really popular at the moment, then that can just sell out really quickly. And so that's why I usually just enjoy this used market. But Fletcher was the first one that I jumped into the hype machine about. I was reading about it. I was enjoying what people were having to say, thinking I was going to get it. I was thinking I'm going to have my phone. I was in a remote location and my web connection wasn't very good, so I was a little concerned that I would miss out. So I tried to get Fletcher, but by the time I had it in my cart, shifted over to PayPal, pay for it, it was gone. Now, a year later, I would get a hold of some Fletcher, and I would realize that it's not a scent for me. So it worked out. But, oh man, look at that lather. That's great. This feels nice. The tips on this 2-band are not super soft. You can still feel them real easy, but they're comfortable, reasonably soft. And this is not a super high density knot, and I like that about it. It's more like normal density. So I get good flow through and nice, easy splay. And I bet the tips will soften up with time just a bit. So this is Catie's Bubbles is well known for producing quality products. I don't think he does any tallow stuff. He's done a couple special runs with this luxury cream, he calls it. And he actually calls it a luxury cream soap. On this day in the lather games, if the word soap is on your thing, if it's not this particular brand, then you'll probably not get the points for matching the theme for today because it's a cream. But since they know about Catie's Bubbles and they know that the luxury cream soap is an actual cream, then that's the exception there. Hey, Michael, welcome. Refined Edge, welcome. Yes, sir, Michael. And hey, let's refresh you guys now that we're a little bit into the shave. We're using Catie's Bubbles Luxury Cream from called 322 in honor of Yale's Skull and Bones Society and secret societies in general. And so we're using a long-handled, super adjustable. We are using a black-handled Thader brush. I do have the matching 322 splash. And I picked a high vetiver. I wish it wasn't all purpley, but I picked a high vetiver cologne to use afterwards by Lalique. Encre Noire is how I believe you would say that. And vetiver is the central note, the hard note in that one. Good morning, Peter. Welcome from China. Lather feels very good on my face. I probably could go a little wetter, but I bet I'm hitting it about right today. The Black Beauties have a special place in my heart because the short handle is the one I inherited from my grandfather. Unfortunately, I lost it, but I'd still remember seeing it in his bathroom and using his when I was just first starting out shaving. I didn't know that I would be shaving at the hobby level later on in life. So at the low setting of, oh, this is nice. At the low setting of 3, we're keeping it mild, and we'll probably bring in the against the grain stroke at the end of the shave to make sure we get a nice close one. Zachary, congratulations on your upcoming lather bowl. Now, Michael Friedberg might fight you. He is decidedly anti-lather bowl. Michael, that's nice. You know, I probably have more blades than most people. I shared in a den tour recently, I shared my blades and how I had probably 13,000. But who's crying now? Because some of those are pole silvers. Peter, yes. So that was a very comfy pass. And yeah, we did take off some hair, but the cross grain is really where we're going to get the job done. Man, and that first rinse is where you're going to learn a lot about your soap, your lather. That was very nice, easy to rinse off, but a nice luxury feel, but good slickness. So I think I hit it just right today. About half a teaspoon of product was used. And as you can see, I'm not going to run out of soap, but I don't have just tons. So I think I might have hit that pretty close to right as well. Yeah, this is a nice soap base. Whether you consider vegan or tallow soaps, this is very nice. All right, cross grain now. Many people look at the super adjustable, the Black Beauties, and think they shave better than their adjustable counterparts, the Slim and the Fat Boy. There's a good many people that believe that the Slim shaves better than the Fat Boy, and then you've got people that say that the Black Beauties shave even better than that. I enjoy the shaves from them all. I tried the Slim versus the Fat Boy one time, and there may have been a slight performance difference with the Slim. They say that they changed the head design a little bit with the Slim. But to me, it wasn't enough to really worry about it. And so I pick my preference based on what I feel like using at the time, what I think is a more attractive razor. And the wonderful slickness here, very nice residual slickness to go back and do touch-up spots. And I can tell that we've done a lot of good work here, cutting down stubble, even with such an old blade. So let's continue with doing the daily. Oh, let's catch up on some chat here. Yeah, Michael, I could see how many creams, especially this one as well, might be missing that, post shave, feeling that some of the croaps have. Yep, I can see that. Yep, easy to work with. Zesty Calco, welcome. A fan of the super adjustable. See, he's one of the ones that likes the supers, and with good reason. Really? Now, see, we've got opposing opinions here, and that's just fine. So the super adjustables don't seem to work well for Michael Friedberg. And, with some people who jump in, you don't know very much about their shaving practices. You can sometimes attribute it to a person's technique. Maybe they don't have good skill with lathering and that sort of thing. Very comfortable right now. A lot of the stubble here is gone. So this on my face as a cross grain, this feels like a touch-up pass. Very, very comfortable. These razors do have pretty good support near the cutting edges, even from the bottom. But with Mike, we don't have to worry about. We know he makes good lathers. We know he's very capable of excellent pro lathers, and so it just must be a combo that doesn't quite work for him. Zesty says they're all very similar shave. Yeah, and the edge goes to the super adjustable. Yeah. Let's go cross grain the opposite direction here in preparation for a against the grain pass, which is how I make my money with this old blade now. And all it takes is just a little bit of lather on your fingers, and you can see I can refresh this whole beard here. You don't need that Santa Claus all over yourself. I just needed a little bit, and it brightened up everything. And I can go. I am definitely getting that heavy vetiver note, but it's not overwhelming here. Now, I got a feeling the splash is probably going to be on the overwhelming side, but the soap is not quite as much. And I'm even going to do the ATG pass just with that little bit of lather that I spread all over my face. I will, however, check and make sure I'm using the flattest side of the blade, because all we need is that little thin bit of lather. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? What if we dialed it down to something super mild and see how that feels with this old blade against the grain? Normally, something I do not do due to discomfort and cuts. But this old blade can pull it off since it's so old. Let's clock it down to a 1. Why not? I never use it on a 1, even with fresh blades. Hey, Peter. Yes, 322 from Catie's Bubbles. It's in the luxury cream base. And today's theme in the lather games is you must use a cream. And I have the splash as well. Oh, the tech, it's nice. Yeah. I think for me, the super adjustable at a mild setting is smoother than the tech, but that's obviously a subjective thing. Really nice rinses now with the stubble gone. It feels gone. And the slickness I'm feeling as I'm rinsing is just excellent. Very nice. It feels luxurious. All right, so that's 3 passes. And yeah, I've got another, I could probably make 3 passes out of this if I wanted to. So we definitely made plenty of lather. And I like this scent. Okay, am I picking up, man, oh, you know what it smells like? It's got to be that vetiver walnut. This smells like black walnut. That, that kind of pungent part of the walnut scent. That, I like this better now. I'm a big black walnut fan, like in ice cream. That's what it smells like. A secret society of squirrels. Okay, patchouli is in here, blackcurrant, and oak moss, in addition to the vetiver. And this is the Haitian vetiver. The different vetivers do have different twangs to them. I don't know what oak moss smells like. I think maybe I'm perceiving the patchouli, and I think I really like the way it is handling the vetiver. The Haitian vetiver can be very strong. Port-au-Prince in Sterling's lineup is their mutton base, so the performance is out of this world, but the scent is kind of heavy and strong, especially with that splash. But I love the soap because it's not as intense. But I think the patchouli is kind of adding an earthy quality to the Haitian vetiver, giving a little bit more dimension and tweaking back the sharpness might be a way to say it. The black currant. Could the black currant be transforming the scent a little bit more toward the walnut, type of scent? That could be. Ah, okay. Walnut and sausage. Yeah, I could see that working. All right. Well, I'm really enjoying that scent. So let's try a neck shave at setting 1. And no, we're going to go against the grain and see how it goes. You know what, Zesty? I can totally see that. Vetiver is an intense scent. And so I could see how a switch could flip. You could really enjoy it. And then all of a sudden, amber is that way to me in some sense. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if many people, especially on the outlier scents that are kind of aggressive or have tons of character, I could see how they could morph over time, especially something as strong as vetiver. Mike, welcome back. Had to go walk his dog, I believe. The Super 84. This, I believe, is the 109. Is the 84, maybe that's the short handle Black Beauty, right? Yeah, the fresh vetiver. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Jay Sterling did a line of that fresh vetiver. It's the Responders for Life. It was a limited run. If you do see it on the used marketplace, it's not around anymore, but if you do see it on the used market, then snatch that up, and that's fresh vetiver for you. I really like that one too. Now, Mike, with the tech, are you going against the grain with the tech? Hey, Joey, welcome. We are about to do the 4th pass, neck only pass. We used the super adjustable here long handle at a setting of 3 for most of the shave, and tons of the hair is already off. And we're looking at 386, 387. 387 is the use of the blade today. And yes, Michael, try a 5-pass shave. Mike Rose, that could be a fun test for you if you wanted to do it. Maybe for 3 weeks, commit to the tech. Maybe you've already done this already. Because I know you're a pretty competent shaver. But commit to the tech and work it and find that angle, because since it's a little on the milder side, it does have a an angle that's it's a little finicky sometimes. But when you find it, you're rewarded with often smoothness and that smooth and a well cut shave. Yes, this is the long handled Black Beauty. Yes, sir. Joey. All right, now for my against the grain, I'm going to pick the side that doesn't have the bend. And so that's this side. Let's go. Let's start now. Against the grain, we'll kind of do cross grain right here because it doesn't need full ATG. Switch with an ATG note here, a little switching angle there. And this is the blade that I'm only using on one side. 386 uses on one side, and then I did mess up and accidentally used it on its other side one time during the course of this blade's life. A little bit of tugging on this side so you can see it's not too mild. Yeah, Joey, we were talking about how some people really, really enjoy these razors. They don't happen to work very well for Mr. Friedberg, but many people do find them. All right, now here's the business. Against the grain with a mild setting. Oh, now that's nice. That's not bad at all. Oh, man, I could do that all day. Now, I just did an against the grain pass with it, but see, that's a great way to, man, that's super comfy. That makes you feel like a pro shaver right there. That's very cool. Gotten great performance from the luxury cream base from Catie's Bubbles. Yeah, Michael Friedberg, tell us what's new on your channel. Okay. I've done a little bit of J hooking, but I don't need to do it very often, and so I don't think I'm very good at it. I've shown it a few times on my channel. I think mainly because J hooking. Yeah, I was telling somebody, Michael, the other day that on your channel, I was really happy that you were getting into a place where you were happier, a little bit less burnout. And one of the things I mentioned, when you backed off your shaves online, and I specifically mentioned that you had a lot of stuff that you weren't able to get around to. You're putting out quality videos where you were using a soap for a period of days, and that just meant you weren't able to get through a lot of the stuff that you wanted to. And I specifically mentioned that was one of the things that you said you were looking forward to doing. I'm really glad you're able to do that. Stuff that's been sitting around tempting you for a while, you're able to jump into it. Michael, you're funny. Michael, I'm trying to do live shaves all of this month for the Lather games. And so far I've been able to do it. It has been a lot of fun. Sometimes just 8 people, 6 people tune in, and that's okay. Refined Edge says, yeah, father's birth year. That would be not bad. Oh, okay. I think that'd be a great idea. 1951. My dad is kind of around that year. Off my head, I do not know what was offered. There's a table out there where you can look at the different vintage Gillettes. You can look at what letter code that would match to. You can look at what Gillettes were available at that time. You can remind me in the comments if, and I'll look for you if you want a recommendation, but I think it'd be great for you to go get that because it's going to get harder as the years go on, unless you want to find a tech or, a super speed or something like that. Michael definitely needs to do the chest lather technique. Somebody made a comment on that video, the video after the chest lather, saying that I had the muscle tone of a toddler. That's hilarious. Oh man, Zachary, that's too bad. I wish he would have had something better to pass down to you. I mean, electric one's not too bad, right? My dad remembers in his youth, I think he kind of switched to electrics pretty quickly, but he remembers in his youth what I researched and found was called the Techmatic. It had these cartridges and they were reels of blades. The blade, you could actually stretch it out like a tape. And the reels of it were stored inside the cartridge that you put. It looked almost like an injector. But then when you would need a fresh blade, fresh part of the blade, you would turn something and like a conveyor belt, it would bring new blade material to the surface there and tuck away the old stuff, I think. And he remembers that one specifically. Um, my great uncle gave me his brush, a couple of straights. Um, uh, I did not meet him through my actual normal uncle after he went through some of his stuff, but he knew I was a shaving fan, so he gave me a few of his straights, five of his straights, and a couple of them are really decent. I mean, I think they're all good steel, so that's good, but they may have rusted too much. But a brush stand and a couple of brushes, so I'm looking forward to refurbishing those. Oh yeah, 1951. Is that what you said? That means you're not going to be able to do a Fat Boy because I think that was about 10 years or so later. So you'll have to do something that predates the Fat Boy adjustable. Atra, yeah, okay. I want to get one of those cool looking track two handles because we do have track two blades. Um, just to have that around maybe for when I fly, because I believe those heads don't pivot. And so that's one of the reasons that people of our ilk might like that. Yeah, toddler's probably better than tiddler. Oh, 55, 55. That may still be slightly before I read it. I read something about the Fat Boys, and I think 61 and 58 is really where, and they only came out out for 4 years, and so I think that's still a little too soon, but it might be an early part of the Fat Boy. The Slim would come later, and so I think you missed out on the Slim there, but maybe some super speeds or some things like that. Hopefully, you could find something cool. Ah, right, right. Okay. Black bottom super speed, the UK version. I wonder if that shaves different than our US version. Yes, Zachary. That way of shaving does take a while. I think many of our practical forefathers abandoned the art of it because they were just practically oriented folks and didn't want to take a spa day, to do it. Ah, zesty. Okay. The metal handles. Yeah. Roger that. Got to keep it out for a deal, maybe. All right. Well, one of the things I like to do when I talk to you guys after a shave is on purpose. I'm waiting to see what happens to my skin. Is it drying out because the soap is drying out my skin right now to the touch? It feels moist. So this lather has helped my skin to retain moisture instead of drying out too quickly. A little bit of soap is still around, feels good, hasn't really dissipated. So this is a nice quality soap base as kind of we all knew anyway. Revamped vintage razors. You mean that one company that has three names that like did a version of the Fat Boy? I didn't gravitate toward that one. I didn't think it looked right, and um, uh, but I'm all for, like, I ordered one of the Pearl Flexies from the folks who made it over in India. It's patterned after the Gibbs, and looks to be getting pretty good reviews. One person, was it Zesty? Was it you that got the pearl? We've been talking in the comments that the one you got, that's Michael Freeberg. That might be what it is. That might be what it is. The Global Shave Club. For that Fat Boy clone. It looked cheap to me. Maybe the chrome, it just didn't look as nice as the vintage plating of the real Fat Boy. It looked kind of like a cheap clone, you know. Right. Okay. It was you, Zesty. The base plate on his Pearl Flexi was crooked, but apparently they're being really good about sending him a replacement whenever those are available. And I've heard that mine is sitting at the post office waiting for me. And so hopefully I'll have mine to use sometime during the Lather games. Ah, right. Now that's a different story, Jay. Yeah, if they're replated and stuff, if they have been redone like that, I think that's terrific. I mean, a lot of times I would rather have a little brassing and know that it's the original, because to me that reflects on the age of it and the history of it, the marks it's taken as it's lived its life. And so often I don't know that I'll ever send one in for replating. I do have one that somebody else sent in for a custom plating job, and I really like it because it is underneath the plating an authentic piece that works really well and is pretty. It's beautiful. So I. So I'm a fan either way. Suit yourself, enjoy that. If I like to have a Fat Boy, but I've got this rhodium plated Fat Boy that I got from, I think, Kyle from summer break, and I mean, I'm enjoying the tar out of it. Now, I'll still keep my old one, but I'm enjoying the plated one that I have. So yeah, enjoy, play around, do it, enjoy whatever you feel like doing there. Especially if it's a good plating job, then it's going to work just as well as the original. It's going to last. It's going to give you all the good feels and the good service, you know, that the original plating job is supposed to do as well. They want to do a toggle. That's nuts. That's the thing, Zesty. Who knows when they'll be back in stock? Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Hope they come back quickly for you. Yeah, Delta Echo used to do it. I remember seeing. I always considered, you know, what would I do with a color pattern if I wanted to send one off and have it done. You know, I don't even quite know what I would choose. Danny, welcome. Today is cream day in the Lather games. As a refresher here, we're using 322, the luxury cream base from Catie's Bubbles, and it performed really, really well. I used about half a teaspoon of soap, and I got probably 6 or 7 passes of lather. Still hasn't dissipated. It's quality lather. I used 20 milliliters of water to do that. And here's a great time to bring in the 322. I was talking earlier about I wish people would stop using the Teflon tape around the threads. These just don't have a close enough tolerance to make that any use, and it makes people think that they're waterproof, and they're not. I got some samples that were done that way, and all of them leaked. It was meant for showers and stuff with really tight tolerance threads and stuff. Ah, nice. He's got the carve in aluminum. You're able to play with that coloring. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Zesty. That is really too bad because it really did take a while to get it shipping as well as them manufacturing it. A little bit of burn today with the aftershave, so it does have alcohol. Right now, the alcohol was burning off, and I do smell underneath it the Haitian vetiver in there. Later on, we'll see if anything else jumps out. It's got kind of a medicinal note to it because of that alcohol right now. Yeah, man, sure thing. To go along with the, and I did some research today about the 322. I had not done that before. And it is thinking about secret societies. And this is Chris Cullen's idea about what a scent from a secret society in dark corners and skeletons and closets might smell like. With the Haitian vetiver as the primary note, and to my nose at least, patchouli, blackcurrant, and oak moss. And the 322 is a reference to Yale University's Skull and Bones Club. And they're the secret society from there. They have a Wikipedia page, as it turns out. And so that's where that 322 came from. And so I did have the splash for that. I picked, and that's the reason I'm using the Black Beauty today, to kind of match with the dark secretive theme. And I have the black handled Thader brush. This is the 4125 size 3, I believe, and great for face lathering. But you can see if you're a bowl latherer, the handle will, and your fingertips will get messy. Not one with gel tips. It's the 2-band Badger. Not very jelly at all, and that's kind of the way I like it. Yeah, do we really need another toggle? That'll be interesting to see what they try to charge for their version of the toggle. Yeah. All right. Now that absorbed pretty quickly, and the alcohol helped it. Oh, let's check out the result. That was the, as I leaned forward, the little bathroom rug scooted back. I wasn't passing gas on camera here, although that's not outside of the realm of possibility. Someday I'm sure I will. Nice close shave. Really happy with that. So that pass with the level 1, very profitable. All right. So some different nuances of the scent are coming out. The vetiver is backing off just a little bit to let some of the other things come out. So that does so happen with, often happen with the liquids. All right, so I'm going to clean up my gear, and because I don't really want to put on the EDT yet. All this is kind of burning off. So there we go. Anybody can post any questions they have. Here's the lather we had left over, and what kind of elasticity we are looking at. We do have some micro bubbles in there, but this is definitely a case where these micro bubbles do not give it an airy feeling. Nice and creamy, very slick on the face was the feeling for today's shave. Michael, I think you're right. Cheap and a little flimsy. Here's that Thader brush, all rinsed out. Yeah, Michael, the bowl, this is what I eat my cereal in every morning. Yeah, just for that. That's all. So here's the Thader, the 2-band, and this is not one of those super high density knots. You can easily squeeze it down, and it's just kind of normal density. Nice, easy splay, very comfortable, medium backbone. So you're not getting the sides of the bristles working on your face. You're keeping those nice soft tips at you. Tips aren't uber soft, but I like it a good bit. Definitely better than the bulb from this same knot. And then now we have the knot, the way it looks after a good towel drying. Another benefit of the ones that aren't super high density is that you don't have to rinse them for as long to get all the soap out. All right, now the cologne, the Lalique Encre Noire. It is a woody aromatic. It has top notes of cypress, heart note of the vetiver, so that's why he is in this shave. And then base notes of cashmere wood. I had not heard about that before. And musk. And this is one I have tried before and I've worn around. And if Zesty, if you're still around, this may actually be one that I bought from you that was in like a lot purchase or something like that. This is one I've worn around, but I don't think I appreciated it quite as much. And so it'll be interesting to see if as I pay attention to the cypress and the, obviously the vetiver, but it's the other parts. I wonder if I might enjoy it a little bit more. We'll just do the wrists. I've been enjoying doing that lately. And this is one of those testers that you can take apart and refill with a decant of, something else. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to keep that around once I use that up, I think. Peter, when I first started in terms of silver tips, I started liking the bulbs better, but especially anything with a little bit more backbone, I've definitely gravitated slowly and maybe a little reluctantly to the fan shape. Yeah, agree. Michael, I have not tried it. One of the soap makers told me that Williams was an amazing brush cleaner, and it may not get off like vinegar deposits. I'm sorry, calcium deposits, but in terms of getting oils and just about anything else off the brush, Williams is amazing at that. And so I just keep matter of fact, I've got a tub of it back there just for that very purpose. When I get in a new knot, I give it a work over. So I use my Williams for that purpose. And I rotate through my brushes. I have such a big rotation. I think it'll be a while. I think I plan to clean them maybe every 100 shaves or something like that. So it might be forever before I'm cleaning a brush. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. There was this one on this German website that I almost ordered, but then somebody turned me on to looking at the beauty supply catalogs. Sally Beauty Supply, some of those other type things for cosmetic cleaning soaps. And they have those and they're not very expensive. And I got a feeling those would work really well too. I am appreciating this cologne a lot better than I did the first time I was wearing it. I think the cypress and the vetiver are working really well together. And the musk, that's enjoyable. Isn't it funny how if you don't really make some associations, sometimes you may not enjoy a scent. But then when you realize why something is there and what some of the pieces are, you can appreciate it. Maybe watching sports is similar. When you know what people are doing, what their goals are, what a certain position is trying to accomplish, you appreciate the sport more. Right. I'm not surprised. Yeah, she developed that one to clean makeup brushes. Cool. Yeah, I know everybody was using the Declaration brush rejuvenator for a good many years, and then he backed off on that production. And so people have had to try to find other. Red Panda, I think, did one as well. I'm glad Zingari is making one. Oh man, good scents today. These are working very well. This cologne was a terrific match with the Haitian vetiver of the 322. Very, very nice. 20, right? Yep, 20 milliliters of water was used. Rinse out my little quarter teaspoon. And then we'll have time for final questions. And I noticed I turned off the stream last night as I barely got my post in time. I turned off the stream and I was still able to converse a little bit. I believe it was Peter that was hanging around. I was still able to converse for a few minutes after even turning off the stream. So if anybody has a last minute question after I've hit the button, give it a shot to stick it into the chat and I might be able to see it. let's take out the blade. And as usual, as always, I will take it, place it gently on a washcloth and pat it gently dry. No wiping. And then I do wipe out my razors. Okay, very good. I'll keep that in mind. If anybody needs a brush cleaner, the Zingari one is a good one. Now that's interesting, Jay. The Catie's Bubbles soaps kind of stinging your skin with vegetarian, vegan type ingredients. You don't see that as often. Maybe it's the fragrance oils and stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I am taking them a little seriously. I'm trying to do I'm trying to do detailed analysis. I'm trying to do good write-ups. I'm trying to accomplish those daily challenges. I'm trying to make the other parts of the shave, like the coloring, match. In this case, the coloring was nice to match. Sometimes just in theme, they could match. Yesterday was something that would get you laid. And so I picked a scent that my wife likes. And then for the brush, I chose my Zenith Horse because, Prince Charming riding in, or the Old Spice guy riding on a horse is is very sexy. Okay, Michael, I'll have to check that out. I did some memes yesterday. I did about 6 or 8 of those. That was fun. Cold 45s with Lando had a good compliment for me. I'm always posting right before the deadline, and so I don't get a lot of thumbs up and that kind of thing. But that's okay. It's just it's kind of for the judges anyway. But being a night shaver, I'm definitely losing out on having other people interact with my stuff, because they're all consumed with the next day, that sort of thing. Yeah, I really enjoy the memes. I did those kind of offhand, and it was a lot of fun. What's funny is there was one that I was looking at, and when you look into a meme and it's all blank, you wonder, well, what kind of comedy mechanism is this made for? There's the one with the guy on the bike, and it's like you're describing a situation. Then something dumb he does in that situation as he puts the stick into his bike wheel. And then the negative result, the last frame is him falling down, holding his knee. And so that's the negative result of the situation. Sometimes it's kind of easy to see the patterns, but some of them are not. And you look at examples, you're like, oh yeah, you can do that with it. And so it's fun. Sometimes I'll make it a challenge. I'll take one and I say, I have to make a meme out of this image, no matter how hard or how long it takes. I make myself a little humor challenge there to try to come up with something. Man, these old razors. And what's funny is that it's the 4 slots here have these little rails that are sticking up, and that is what's holding the blade up. And it's just crazy that and they hold it really close to the edge, and that's why you get such a good shave from these very often. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And these, of course, these do have a locking turn. The quarter turn at the end locks it down, and that way you'll know it's not going to come apart on you. It's not going to loosen up on you during the shave. Some people didn't know that. Some people don't know that that's intentional on Gillette's part. All right, I think we're good. It's been great talking with you guys. Michael, thank you for joining. Jay and Peter and Mike Rose, Danny for joining in. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. I need to try to figure out a Michael Friedberg meme. I need to try to figure out a good one. Sometimes it's easy to come up with corny ones, but why waste your time on those, right? And I mean for anybody, not just you. But try to come up with one. Of course, the easy target would be the covered blade tabs, right? See if we won't go for the low-hanging fruit. We'll see what we can do. Oh, hey, on that day at the top, Django or Ganjo. I always think Django when I look at his name, starting with a D. right under the announcement that it was him, he posted a comment, and then I posted a comment to him that said because he posted some memes about they reposted some of his more current memes, and I am in a Django meme. How about that? Pretty cool. It was where a guy was running across football, making a touchdown, waving his hand #1 sign, saying, Jesus, I'm doing this for you, and then it flashes over to Jesus. Well, he's sitting in his living room with a big screen TV with me on the TV holding up a soap tub. So apparently what I got from that is Jesus is watching me at one of my shave videos. That was a compliment and hilarious all at the same time. Yeah. The SpongeBob picture. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. All the best to you guys. As usual, I sure hope there's something in this shave that's going to help you guys out. Take care. Enjoying the lather game so much, interacting with you guys live. Have a good night. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Peter, one day he'll get a full start to finish. Okay, now that's true, Peter. You've gotten a little bit each one. Michael, Jay, thank you. Later. Take care, guys. Good luck, Peter, with the next time. Bye for now.